So I thought I'd do some long duck videos for you guys, and I was trying to figure out how to make it interesting, and I hadn't really thought much over. I've been thinking the last week how to do it, and then I just discovered today that my character's probably going to die because I've run out of food, and I thought, why don't I narrate it from close to the end, close to the death of this character, and of course I might find food, he might survive, so let's see what happens. Maybe I'll manage to find something. At the moment it's very cold outside, so I'm going to have to be walking around looking for food, obviously, and that makes it tricky because I can only walk a few hundred meters or so before I get too cold, and then you can get hypothermia. So you got old feels like temperature in the bottom left there. That fire right in front of me is helping a lot. And in the bottom left of the screen you can see the temperature meter, which is rising because I just been for a walk outside. And there we go, fire's gone out. Pretty good timing because my temperature's nearly all warmed up again. And I shortly will go for a walk and try not to get lost and try and find some food. Might have warmed up a bit actually. Oh, thank goodness it has too. So this is one of my snares I put out. It's been out there for about a day. Actually going to move it because the rabbit spawns crows. Should always listen to the crows. Can't actually see them. Oh, there they are. Yeah, if they're circling over a spot, sometimes a dead body there. So yeah, the rabbit spawns. If there's a already looted that car, so I'll leave that alone. The rabbit spawns disappear after a while, so you get trap a few rabbits, and then the spawn gets wiped out by like a blizzard or whatever, and you don't get any more rabbits from that spot. So yep, so I'm hoping to find, I have actually been here before. You actually see there's a rope over there which I climbed down, and there's a radio tower. I think that's where I spawned actually. This is Pleasant Valley. Oh, there's the radio tower up there. This is Pleasant Valley, which is a spot I don't know very well. Run through here a couple of times in other games, but haven't really ever stayed here for very long, so trying to learn where I can get food from. And I made the classic mistake on this run of just not paying attention to my food stores. Well, you have a pile of food on the floor of your house or wherever your camp is, and then one day you look at it and you're like, oh, that pile's quite small, and then there's a couple of blizzards in a row and you don't get out one day because the weather's too crappy, and suddenly you're in trouble. Yeah, and I just wasted. So you look at the temperature. This isn't even all that cold now. It's like, oops, wrong one. It's like, feels like -7, and my temperature dial, whatever you call it, in the bottom left is already a quarter gone. So I made a mistake and went somewhere I'd already been and wasted a quarter of my temperature. That house in the distance is actually where my actual base, as it were, is. So that's where all my gear is. I think this character's maybe 10 days old. Is 10 days? I don't know. I think I can check actually with the new journal system. There's a journal. Oh, there we go, 12 days old. So that's all the things that happen on the 12th day there. So you've got a reasonable amount of stuff. Got a revolver here, which I've been slowly. That didn't used to have that when I was playing, so that's an added weapon. Trying to figure out how to use that. I could be running here, but I don't want to. There's just some rabbits over there, so they may save me today. Well, they won't give me a lot of meat, but maybe like a day's worth of food. Yeah. So let's see. So I could use stones to try and kill him, but I really need something reliable. So I'm going to use my handgun, even though I only have 7 rounds for it, the 6 in the gun. And now the problem here is when you are skinning animals. So one of the wolves will start to smell you out if you gut animals out in the wild, and so you kind of got to have a system to take care of it, and I'm not quite sure what to do about that yet. So you see over there's a couple of wolves roaming there. As soon as I start skinning these rabbits, they're going to come trucking over here, so it can be a real problem. See what sort of shot I am today. Oh, yep, that'll do it. Okay, so wolves, yeah, gunshots scare everything, which is good. Now, what I really want to do here is, I don't know, actually, because there's 4 wolves over there. I'll stand up so you can see them better. There's another rabbit there, which I should probably shoot before I get to. I'm really going to need both these rabbit carcasses to save my sorry butt. Let's see if I can make it 2 from... I wonder if I could maybe try and stone him. A pretty crappy shot, but... Anyway, that would have been nice to save myself a round. But I missed. He was running right towards me too, which is basically the best situation to be in when you've got a rabbit coming your way. Okay, so it's just gotten windier as well, which is worth keeping an eye on, because if there's a blizzard here, I may get completely lost. Although that barn that I was in before is going to be fairly easy to get to in a blizzard, because it's kind of like you can just go straight to this fence, follow all the way along, and yeah, your visibility is so low you really just can't see anything. So blizzards commonly kill you because you just get lost like really easily. And on this difficulty mode, the weather changes pretty quickly. So anywho, I could kill a wolf, but the problem with that, using the pistol on them, is they won't die for the first shot unless you hit them in the head, and then you got to find the bodies where they run off and... Okay, that's good. So I got two carcasses here now. Now, as I'll forget this, I'm going to reload and get the spent casings, which is important.
I could use this.
Right, I'm going to have a bit of a think about how on earth to get the meat off these without getting killed by those wolves. So actually, I can just pick them up. Okay, that's real good. I'm actually just going to do that. It's the bigger cut. Now this is interesting. So if I hit tab, oh no, see the scent meter, you probably didn't notice it, but in the middle of the screen, see how there's those 3 smelly icons when I press tab? And now I got 2 smelly icons. The higher those get, the more likely the wolves are going to start tracking me. And because visibility is so good, you can actually see the wolves possibly getting a bit riled up. Yeah, I think they're going to start following me, I think. Yep. That's bad. Yeah, so actually I didn't realise you could carry carcasses. It's actually, sometimes they freeze, and then I think sometimes you can't pick them up. And you can't pick up big carcasses like wolves and deer, obviously. Although I think with this patch, maybe you can quarter them now and carry parts of them, possibly. Because if you end up skinning a... Yeah, see, look at that. That's very interesting, wolf behaviour. They're actually running to where the bodies were. So they might track me, actually. This is going to be interesting to watch. Oh yeah, hypothermia wrist, so I'm pretty cold now.
I'm so cold.
Now, that doesn't kill you straight away. It's just your condition starts dropping, which is typically what happens when you... Okay, this is interesting. They're actually following the scent. So you do have a bit of time, actually, if you pick up a carcass, given the fact that they don't run. I could sprint here actually to get away from them, but I won't, because I don't want to waste my fatigue too much. Yeah, and when wolves attack you, they generally don't kill you outright unless you're weak. But they're very difficult to stop from attacking you. So you can chuck a stone at them. If you've got a flare, you can light a flare and throw it at them, and that might drive them off, but they still tend to keep tracking you. So if you're weak, though, they can kill you. And then once they bite you, if you get into a fight with them, you've got to like put a bandage on and put some antiseptic on so the wounds don't get infected. And they rip your clothes a bit too, which is a problem. yeah, generally they won't kill you outright. Bears will. Oh no, bears take you down to about 10% and then they come back and kill you. So they give you a second chance to get away if after the first attack you can hightail it out of there quickly enough. Okay, so this is good. So that's your... After opening this video saying I was going to die, I've actually, I think, solved my short-term food problems. I think, how many calories is there in a rabbit? I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I would say those 2 rabbits are going to give me about a day and a half of food-ish, depending on... You can sort of play it slightly different ways. Oh, another...
Could end up being useful.
Another cartridge. I'd forgotten that you needed to pick the cartridges up. And then I forgot that the cartridges don't come out of old school revolvers when you shoot. They come out when you reload. So I spent ages trying to find cartridges every time I was shooting. And then I was like, oh, hold on, it's a revolver. They don't pop out of the gun until you pop the barrel out. Anyway. Okay, so here I'm curing some gut, which I can make a whole lot of things out of, but I'll probably make more snares for rabbits out of those. Those rabbit pelts I'll turn into hats and a hat and a set of gloves, and there's a wolf pelt which I can eventually, if I get enough of those, I can turn into a coat, a warm wolf coat. Okay, so I'm going to take these rabbits. So everything in this game costs you calories. It's quite a good way of thinking about it. So if I do half a kilogram of meat, it's going to take 8 minutes, 25 calories. And at the moment I have 0 calories, and I'm currently using a sort of a fasting system where I starve all day and then go to bed with around about 800 calories of food, and that's enough to heal you up. So towards the end of the day you take a lot of damage, end up getting maybe down to about half your health bar, and then you sleep at night and you recharge, you get your condition back up again. So you kind of starve yourself during the day and eat before you go to bed and then get back up again. That uses about half as much food, I think, as trying to stay fed all the time, which is a bit of a bonus, particularly when you're starting out. So I'm going to harvest this rabbit. Now I'm also going to, I don't know whether I want to stay here particularly. I'll harvest all this stuff anyway, and then I will start the video again when I'm doing some cooking. And now I'm going to start the fire. So this is this classic minigame where, like, quite often when you're out in the wilderness, you're freaking out because you're trying to start a fire, and if you look in the top right with those current pieces of fire starting material, you've got a 70% chance of success. My fire skill's gone up a little bit, so that used to be lower, but if you click through different things, if I use a stick, it ups my chance of success to 85%, just because they're easier to light. And then you can add wood to them once they're going with proper logs to make them burn for longer. You can use a different form of tinder. And the fire striker is actually better than matches by about 10%. And magnifying lens, I got 0% chance of success using that because there's no sun in here. But later on, in game, apparently magnifying lens is the only way you can start fires once you run out of matches. So anyway, we'll use the fire striker, 85% chance. This is always a little bit nerve-wracking if you're outside hiding in a hollow trying to escape the weather because you've got nowhere to shelter, and you're trying to start a fire and you keep failing all the time. It's harder to start fires outside too, so it's always a bit of a... Yeah, there you go. And sometimes you'll fail right at the end. It's like, no! And your character gets all upset and starts saying annoyed things, and obviously because you're at risk of dying. Anyway, so we'll add some fuel, and you'll see the duration of the fire on the top left goes up to 35 minutes. We'll do about an hour anyway, because it'll take a while to cook all this meat. So ignore the fact that I have a stupidly large number of bits of meat. I cut the rabbit into lots and lots of small pieces of meat, because it gets your cooking up more quickly. And obviously you need water too, so you spend a fair bit of time melting water. The 6-slot stove here, which is quite useful. You can do more stuff on it at once. So there you go. So we've got that bit of rabbit. Normally you just chuck one big bit of rabbit on there, and it would just take, I don't know, half an hour to cook or something. These are cooking real quickly because they're tiny. So yes, I will store these pieces of rabbit outside because they'll last longer, and then when I go to bed, send my character to bed tonight, he will have a full stomach and won't die. Although in fairness, I might have lasted another half day if I didn't find any food. If there was no blizzard in the morning. And on these hard difficulty levels, it's just freaking blizzards all the time, so it really messes you up. Yeah, so I might go for one more outing. Well, it's the daytime, so I just press tab. So I'm still smelly. You can see by the smell icon in the middle of the screen. And the top right, the sun's about to go down. So I've got maybe another couple of hours of, unless the weather gets crappy, another couple of hours where it's not too cold. So I might go back out again. Or I might leave it till tomorrow. Got to set a couple of those rabbit snares. I'm going to find another rabbit spawn. Obviously it's more efficient to catch rabbits with snares because you don't use any bullets or stones, spend ages chucking stones at them, so it's the preferred way to do it if you've got time, because you're not about to die. Sweet. Keep on doing this cooking. Right, so I've actually decided to not eat 800 calories worth of food. How much have I got? So where's my calories? Oh, yep, just to the left of my character's knees or thighs. You can see calories is 412. I think that'll be enough to get my health bar back up to full when I go to sleep. So let's go show you the upstairs of my wonderful wee cabin. Oh, spider webs. I've been doing my housekeeping very, very often. So what I'll do here is go to bed. Turn the lantern off because you've got limited fuel. Apparently you can get fish oil to restock it, but it's pretty time consuming. And let's see. Oh, yep, hypothermia risk is healed. That's good because it's nice and warm in here. And we're going to sleep for 6 hours. Actually, I forgot to drink. You'll wake up in the middle of the night if you don't drink. So my bar was on about half. So I think you get about 4 hours sleep for about half a bar, maybe 5. So anyway, let's do 6 hours sleep and see if my calculation about calories versus bar healed was correct or not. And yep, pretty spot on. So my health bar's nearly full, and I'm back to nearly starving again. So I'll spend the rest of this next day starving.
You're gonna need to eat soon.
I am going to need to eat soon. That's right. And yeah, and the time. Oh, it's still night time, so it's a bit of a pain. So I'll do a few chores around the house, like cook some water, maybe do a bit of clothing repair. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next exciting installment video of The Long Dark.